Hi, this is Irving Steel, and welcome to Local Issues. I'm your host here today, and super honored and grateful to have an old friend of mine, Duan, as a guest here. He is a leader in the local Chinese community of southeastern Connecticut, and he has a lot to share in terms of his work in community service, giving back to the community, but also most importantly with some of his work both as a mentee, a mentor, and always giving back. So welcome, so great to have you here, Duan.
Hi, Irvin. Thank you for having me.
Of course, of course. So I'd love to start off a little bit with some of the local issues that we were talking about of you and your work with working now as a mentor, but maybe we could take it a couple steps before that as a mentee and just the importance of having someone like that in your life.
That's a great topic. So I will start with something you probably know. A superhuman philosophy in Chinese history is named Confucius. Right? He said, when three people are working together, I'm sure to find a teacher among them. Okay, so for Confucius, he can find a teacher amongst every three people. But to me, I think anybody can be my teacher. So over my life and through my career, I have benefited from having numerous mentors. Somebody may just taught me how to use an instrument. Somebody would give me a piece of advice on career development, or somebody I'm just directly go to them to let off steam. And I have learned so much from each individual of them, and I owe a great debt of them. So that's, but I just want to share today maybe, for some young folks, for me as an immigrant to the United States, in my earlier career, I had a lot of mentors, but they are always limited to technical mentors, I would say, trying to learn skills from them. But one mistake I made is I never had a mentor for career development. So for a long time, I struggled when my career was stalled. I did not know what to do.
So you were focused more kind of on the technical aspects and not so much on the larger career development aspects is what you're saying.
That's right. So I think if I did not know that because in our culture, we emphasize and valued on getting the work done. We always believe, if your performance is good, you will get to the leadership position because of your performance. But I did not know that's not necessarily the same philosophy here in the Western corporate.
Not always the same here.
Yeah. Until in 2014, I attended a Pfizer leadership program. Then I realized actually I need to find a mentor who can give me career advice. And one of the most important piece of advice he gave me was to own your career.
Own your career.
Basically, you have to proactively developing your leadership skill and seeking growth opportunities, other than just sit there and wait.
Mm-hmm. It's easy just to sit back and wait and think that something's going to come to you, but your mentor at that point in 2014 said, hey, if you want something, you need to be proactive and go and get it yourself. Seek it out yourself.
Yeah, I realized that actually later on, that's not just my own problem. Actually, among a lot of my Pfizer colleagues, they have the same issue, especially for Asian American colleagues.
And probably even a larger extent for many people, trying to take a larger context of this, that many people face this challenge, that they assume they have this great background in analytical, let's say chemistry or in TV or something else, that all these opportunities come to them, but you need to be proactive in your career is what you're saying.
Yes, you need to be prepared. You need to, to change your behavior, to understand what's your strength and what's your weakness and what could be your career derailer, and to make up on things you're not very good at, and so to get ready. But in the meantime, you need to have this conversation with your supervisor, with your management, what you want to do, what you want to get to, and what they can do to help you get there. With that conversation, then you lay out a clear path, a plan that you can work on, other than just sit there and look at other people, progressing ahead of you.
Do you think that conversation, whether it's with your supervisor or manager, is that the conversation where you find out where your strengths are, where your weaknesses are, or how do you find that out? That's such an important question.
Oh, that's actually interesting. I struggled with that. So one of my other mentor, and he told me how to do it in a practical way. I think I did want to share. You just reminded me. He asked me to draw a Venn diagram. To list out the things. What you are really good at, your strength, what you're really passionate about it, what is something you must have, and then also there's another circle you can put on is like what is the business your employer is looking for. And he's telling me, so then ranking those things in order, and then when you draw the Venn diagram or put the weight or score on each item you list out, then you probably can find a sweet spot, and then that's the direction you should work towards. You want to have everything, you're passionate about it, and you're good at it, and also the business is looking for. Then that's probably will help us to get to the ideal spot you want.
Yeah, having that passion is so important. I feel that I love the TED Talk. I'm not sure if you ever heard it by Simon Sinek, Start With Why. That if you know kind of your why, your passion behind doing something, you can have that passion to work hard and get through some of those challenges and struggles. So I love how you bring that up. It's really important.
Yeah. Another piece of advice I benefited quite a bit is one of my mentors told me, oftentimes the vertical move, the space is limited. So sometimes then you have to do lateral move or zigzag move, as we call it, to find opportunities. And then, that will broaden your skill set and actually will bring additional opportunities. And I took that to myself. And I did make like 2 lateral moves in the past 3 years. I was a technical lead working in the process chemistry area. Then about 2 years ago, I moved on to become a portfolio management role in the small molecule space. Then just at the beginning of this year, I moved to a completely new field that is global regulatory science. So my mentor telling me to take risk, to make the lateral move, actually changing my career a lot, and I definitely I'm grateful for that advice.
And just as we were speaking right before the show, some of these risk-taking procedures and some of these behaviors didn't really come naturally to you, maybe, that it was kind of against what you were used to or against kind of your normal behaviors, is kind of how you explained it.
Exactly. I think that's actually very true for a lot of Asian Americans, the Chinese Americans. We tend to be more conservative, and actually that's probably true for a lot of people who are not even Asians, because we do something and we get comfortable. We won't stay there.
And it's easy to stay there once you're comfortable.
Exactly. So to take risk is never a comfortable thing, because there are a lot of uncertainties, unknowns ahead of you. So naturally you will feel scared. But based upon my experience, actually there's a lot of excitement there by doing different things, by taking risk. and it's also a very rewarding process. So I encourage my fellow Asian Americans to do more in your career, in your professional life.
I'm really curious, though, that was there an impetus? Was there something that kind of sparked you, that you were nervous about taking that risk, but something allowed you to do it? Do you know what that final push was that allowed you to take that risk, to take this zigzag a little bit? You just believed in yourself maybe and thought you could do it.
Oh, well, I guess that like I just mentioned before, sometimes the limited space for you to make that vertical move in your current job, then how to get that to the position you want, it's, I would say, it takes actual effort, and you want to find a way to get around it. I think that encouragement from my mentor actually was important. So they have been through that. They have been there. They have taken that process themselves, and that basically showcased that although there's uncertainty there, but you could benefit from that risk taking.
And it's been true for you as well, that through some of these risk taking, going zigzagging or however you want to portray it, that it's allowed you to progress and learn a great deal, and it kind of puts you now in a position to give back a little bit more now as you are transitioning from mentee to more mentor, is what I understand, helping kind of the next generation of people.
Yes, I have benefited so much from my mentors. Now I'm getting to a more of like a stage of my career at a relatively more mature stage or medium stage of my life. I feel I can do more to pay back, to pay it forward, you know. So in recent years, Pfizer hired a lot of young folks because we expand quite a bit, and those young generation of scientists, they just start their career, and they are very eager to learn not just the technical part, but also looking for career advice. I figure if they are exposed to this advice at their very initial stage of their career, they are going to benefit a lot more than I did. They would hopefully not suffer that much like I was looking in the darkness for quite a bit of time. So in recent years, I have become more of a role of mentors within the company or within the community. Right now I have like 4 mentees who have established a more of a long-term mentor-mentee relationship with me. We meet regularly once in a month, talking about the career development, talking about leadership skill development, talking about community service, or just they're also interested because I made a zigzag move. I have learned quite a bit across different areas. They want to know the organization of Pfizer, and they want to know also the technical aspect from different area of Pfizer organization.
I think that's amazing that if there's an opportunity to have the knowledge of someone like you or other people who have learned along the way, and they're willing to pass that down to the next generation or next group of people, I mean, why not? It's an invaluable opportunity for those colleagues and then also for yourself. I'm sure you get a lot of benefit and you learn a lot from it as well.
Definitely, yeah. I heard somebody say, I will learn while I'm teaching, I will teach while I'm learning.
Yeah.
So it's always a mutual beneficial.
I was teaching at a local college here in Connecticut, and I always felt I almost had the most benefit from teaching. I felt like I learned the most from teaching the the students there.
Yeah,
That's definitely true.
there are two aspects. So one thing is like while I was preparing for my teaching, sometimes I found, I had to go back to relearn some things. But that's one thing. So that gives me a deep level understanding of something I already know. Another thing that I do learn from these young folks, the new generation, they have different idea about life, a different idea about certain aspect of life. And that kind of like an eye-opening experience for me as well. Yeah, so I definitely value that experience. Interestingly, like Pfizer, now we also, within the GAA stands for Global Aging Alliance, we value the mentorship program a lot because we believe aging Americans need mentors. And so we promote that program a lot. And last year, we started a program called Reverse Mentorship. So actually, the senior leaders seeking the junior colleagues as their mentors because they want to learn from the millennium. So that's a very interesting concept. It's basically reflect what we just mentioned. You learn from your mentees as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a two-way street for sure. And one of the elements you brought up with the mentor-mentee relationship is in the realm of community service and public service, kind of giving back to the community.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's one thing I've always been impressed about you is, of course, you're busy with your job, your career, your family, but you carve out a lot of time to give back to the community and community service. So maybe you want to share a little bit about that as well.
Definitely, yeah. I have been working very hard in that area. I truly believe that a lot of times the stereotype, microaggression, or even discrimination come from xenophobia. Because you don't understand something, then you naturally you're kind of scared of that. To me, for my community, I think my underlying principle is to increase the understanding about the Asian American community, to bridge the gap between the Chinese community and the mainstream. So I have been working hard in the past decade. Since I'm over here, I served as the president of Southeastern Connecticut Chinese Cultural Society. Then I served principal with the Southeastern Connecticut Chinese School. After that, I served 6 years on the Chinese School Board. And so I have been working hard in that area. I just realized, in the recent years, because of the tension between China and the U.S., and also some narratives used by our politicians actually caused harm to the Asian American community. It is very evidenced, in the past few years, the dramatic increase of the anti-Asian hate. And, you may have heard the Chinese initiative, China Initiative program started by our Department of Justice that specifically target the Chinese researchers in U.S. universities. So now it's a time, I think, more than ever, that we need to continue strengthening that understanding about the Asian American community. We want to let people know that Asian Americans not only built the Mid-Atlantic railways in 1900s, they also fought the World War II for the United States. And now every day on day life, actually they're working very hard to make a contribution for the progress and growth of this country. So that's something I want to do more. I don't like talk politics because that always offend people one way or another. I always thinking what I can do more to contribute to the community I'm living at. So that's why I'm working very diligently in that space.
Mm-hmm. And more specifically, I think that you're involved both as math coach as well as the science coach, and you start off just as a volunteer with those programs, right? These were with students in the community at the middle school in East Lyme.
Yeah, that's very interesting. How where to get started, and that's like back in 10 years ago. I came here. I was very impressed always, by the community in the United States. In China, everything is handled by the public school government, but here, when I sent my kids to the sports team, I found all the coaches and volunteers, they are just parents. Mm-hmm. And the people in community, they work together. So I know, although I play basketball and volleyball, but I'm not very good at teaching them. So what I can contribute, then I found I'm a scientist, right? And I love math. So that's, when I start getting involved in the math counts club in East Lyme Middle School. At the beginning, as a volunteer with Miss Jane Gionette, who was a math teacher at that point in time, and then later on with Sean Ashburner. So I started teaching the children math and accompanying them to math competition. And later on, I become a coach. So I not only coached the math counts club, but I also established the Science Bowl program at East Lyme Middle School. And my coach career actually culminated in 2018. Both of our math count team and the Science Bowl team won the championship in Connecticut state competition.
Wow,
and
congratulations.
I was a coach of both teams, and I led both teams to the national competition in Washington, D.C. So that's a great accomplishment, and I was very proud of. And since both my kids now, my older one already graduated from college, and my younger one now is a junior in high school. So I get less involved in the middle school program, but I'm continuing helping the high school program. And actually, the high school science bowl team won the Connecticut championship in the past 2 years. And this year, we went to Washington, D.C. In the national science bowl competition. They got in the top 16 and beating some very, very strong teams from the other part of the country. So we're very proud of that. I will continue doing that, and I'm actually right now is a coach for the high school Connecticut math team. We call there's a program called American Regional Math League, ARML, ARML team. I'm a coach of that team, and just a few weeks ago we brought 50 Connecticut high schoolers to Penn State, and we got in the top 12 in the team competition, and also we have one student won the second place in the individual competition. So it's something I'm very proud of, and it's something I figure I can contribute to this community.
Definitely, and we're so grateful for that East Lyme, of course, is known for a lot of amazing sports teams, and East Lyme is also known for amazing education, but it's truly this community education that people like yourself and others giving back in the community and helping the schools, helping the students to take it to the next level of learning. So I think that's incredible what you've been able to do and continue to do for the school and the whole community.
Thank you.
I think one thing that you mentioned too is kind of your goal with a lot of the community service is almost bridging this gap between the Asian community and kind of the mainstream culture in America. Is that kind of what you feel you're trying to do with some of these?
Yes, that's something. I mean, we are working as a team. We have the Southeastern Connecticut Chinese Cultural Society. I was a president many years ago, but they are trying to work hard in that area to basically advocate for our culture, our heritage, and trying to get the mainstream understand what a Chinese American or what Asian American is thinking about. So, but of course, in the past few years, the COVID definitely set back.
It's been a challenge, I'm sure.
Yeah, we had not had any like in-person event for more than 3 years. Only till last month we had our first in-person event in Harkness Park, and which you were there.
Yeah, it was great to see. I couldn't believe the amount of people that showed up. Over 200 people, I think.
Yeah, it's people are so passionate and people are so excited to see each other, and that is definitely an inclusive event. Although mostly are Chinese Americans, but we have a lot of friends just like you who are enjoying to have a conversation, to have the Chinese food, to have learned the Chinese culture. So we continue doing that more and more. Every year we will celebrate the Dragon Boat Festival, the Mid-Autumn Festival, which is upcoming in October. And of course, by the end of the year, I believe we are going to plan to have a party for our Chinese New Year celebration. Hopefully, at that point in time, many friends like you will join us.
That would be amazing. Yeah, there's always tons of great music and dancing and food, all these things. If people some of our viewers want to find out more about the association, how are they able to get in touch, or how can they find out more and to get involved?
Yeah, we have a social group. I think we have another organization called Chinese School. So there's a website called www.sccs.org. So we can get to know Chinese school through that website. We used to have a website for the Chinese Cultural Society, but unfortunately that did not get well maintained. So, I think they can either reach out to me or to our other leaders in the community, and we will put maybe some announcement in our Chinese school website, and we have a distribution list. And so join our WeChat group, probably the best way to know the detail of all the events. We will need to find a better way to communicate to the people outside of the community more. So I guess I'm going to talk to the leaders to see what we can do better in that.
Yeah, definitely. And as you mentioned, that it's a great chance right now to kind of bridge some of these gaps, and just mutual understanding, I feel, is so important. That if you never have encountered somebody from China, or you don't know much about the culture or the food or the holidays or the festivals or the language for that matter, it's hard to have a true understanding at all. But if you're exposed to some of these events, if you're able to go talk to some of these people, if you're able to have friends with someone for many years, I feel like that can really change everything on just a one-person to one-person scale, and then that can have enormous ramifications. So I'm really grateful for our friendship and for the openness of your community to allow me to continue to pursue some of my passions and interests in China and Chinese culture. And I'm really grateful for your time today to share some more knowledge and giving back to the community. So thank you again.
Yeah, thank you, Irving, for giving me this opportunity to come here to talk about these topics. And also, I have a lot of respect for what you have done, and from your own experience, continue to be ambassador to reach out to our community. Whether many years ago you accompanied with Mr. Fumika to our Chinese community celebration, you bring other local politicians to our events, and up till today you continue paying attention to local issues, and so hope you continue doing this, and I appreciate it.